Carrie Bradshaw YouTube channel. In this video, my boobs and I are recapping episode 3 of Bridgerton. Again, I have already binged the whole season, but I want to give you guys an episode by episode recount because I just think that this show is worth it. So this episode, we really see that Daphne and the Duke are really actually starting to form a friendship. This whole thing started as a ruse to get women and mothers off of the Duke's back with proposals and to get Daphne more attention from more suitors, and it is working. I do want to say, like, the way that this episode opened in this dream sequence, I cannot stress enough how much I love the cinematography of this show. It is just stunning. Everything honestly looks like a dream anyway, so seeing it portrayed as a dream, oh, love, 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 love. I also just want to say, should Daphne's bangs have their own Twitter account? Do they have their own agent? Do they have a credit on the IMDb, like Daphne's bangs played by? At one point she gives us almost like a bang mullet, like it's wispy in the front, party in the back. Those bangs, honey, they just move about. So Daphne is rejecting proposals left and right. I think she's rejecting these proposals. Yes, of course, she's looking for the perfect guy, but she's also really coming to see that she has feelings for the Duke, and at the same time, he feels like she's playing more into what they're doing this for, and then vice versa. They both feel like they're playing the game, but they both actually are developing feelings and like admiration for each other. I do want to say this. This show is set in an incredibly repressive time, but a part of me wishes that courting was still a little bit like this, just to the extent that guys were required to put forth such blatant effort to get your affections or to make their intentions known. And a part of me wishes that that were still more of a thing, like minus the oppressive part of it, you know, like your brother and your daddy shouldn't be out here like choosing a mate for you. But I do kind of long for the days when dudes had to be super intentional about expressing their interest in you. Just a little thing that I was thinking about. So Marina is still waiting to hear back from her baby daddy. Ain't no letters came, Miss Seeley. Anything come for me? No. And Lady Featherington is like, listen, this child needs a father. We about to set you back out on the stroll. So get a new wardrobe. We just gonna extend these sizes, pull these corsets tight. You gotta find a husband. Your baby daddy not coming back for you, okay? So we're at yet another function. Again, it is the social season. That is what all of this is for. And the Duke is putting on a show for the girls. And again, this plan is really, really working. So many people are coming up to Daphne asking for her to dance. And as Daphne is dancing with all these different guys, she's coming to realize that these dudes, while they are eligible and they are wealthy and handsome, they're not interesting. They don't have a sense of humor. They don't have much to talk with her about. And I guess we have to attribute that to the fact that maybe those guys aren't as experienced, with girls. I don't know. Well, Anthony been out here, the Duke been out here. So maybe those guys have, had experience, but not with a woman like Daphne, not with someone who is actually curious about them. And she isn't just looking for a husband. She wants a partner, especially because her mom has said, choose the person who is the most like your best friend. And we all know that some of the best relationships are born of friendship. So these guys are just like kind of being very boastful, or they just don't really have much to say. And this is just feeding her actual desire for the Duke. And it's like, we see what's happening here over and over again. I love it. A prince has entered the chat, okay? The Prince of Prussia. He's just so cute. I think a friend of mine told me that he was actually on Harry Potter. Most of the time, if you're watching a British show, you've seen a person before on Harry Potter. It's like their Law and Order. Well, Midsummer Murders is like their Law and Order, but that's another conversation for another day. All the girls are throwing themselves at the prince. This takes some of the heat off of the Duke because Prince trumps Duke, right? And the prince comes over to try to, introduce himself to Daphne. Daphne is not really impressed. The queen is who actually sent for the prince to come to town because she wants some entertainment, honestly. She's messy as hell. Daphne's not really impressed. Daphne is just very unbothered, and we know why. Her affections are growing for the Duke. Genevieve Delacroix, the town seamstress, I forgot what that's called. Starts with an M. Anyway, the first time I watched this, I didn't catch that when she has her, late night kiki session with City Girl Sienna, the opera singer, she dropped the French accent. And that comes up later in the episode. I do hope that season 2, they just got renewed for season 2. I do hope that we get to learn a little bit more about her backstory and why she changed her accent. But I can tell you, as a student of fashion history, Paris has always been that girl. Paris has always been the place to which people look for what's popping, what pieces need to hit. Paris has just always been that girl. So maybe she just put on this fake accent to legitimize her skills as a seamstress, tailor, fashion designer, what have you. City Girl Sienna said, Anthony is playing. I'm about to find me somebody else who'll take care of me in these streets. So she shows up to their gentleman's club and puts the moves on the Duke. And I'm like, you want some Nicki Minaj, drop him and then F with his friend and make him yes man. And it's just like, girl, do what you gotta do to solidify this bag, I guess. And the Duke seems to like really be into it. And I'm like, whoop, this is your best friend, boo. What y'all doing? So I thought that was really interesting. We'll get to what happens there. So we are at yet another function. If you're new here, I just want to tell you, I have notes. I refuse to use like index cards. It would be too much to keep up with. I'm an old school girl. I really just like a spiral notebook, college ruled. Anywho, so that's what I'm looking at when I'm looking down. At yet another function, another wing is being added to somebody's house. Is that the castle? Anyway, another wing is being added to someone's house. The Duke has donated some art pieces. People talking about art. The Duke and Daphne have a moment where she is discussing her favorite painting and how it reminds her of this solitude at their country house, and they hold hands. And back then, this was like, like they are touching intimately in privacy, like no one else is around. There are no chaperones. It's like, girl, oh, look at you, spicy. Leaving that function, the Duke is supposed to go meet up with Sienna, but he decides he's gonna go straight home. And I'm like, of course you are, because you no longer really want to be a rake. You really kind of want to be the man who Daphne deserves and desires. But you got daddy issues like the rest of us. Who among us? Gestures broadly. Again, the queen has expressed she don't give a shit about the Duke. She wants the prince to be with the diamond of the season, which is Daphne. Daphne is not interested right now. We'll get there. Lady Featherington takes Marina on to like Skid Row basically and tries to have give her a reality check. And even though I think Lady Featherington is utter trash, she does make a point. You're bringing a baby into this world and this baby can't eat off of your principles. Where your baby gonna stay? How you gonna say you want to raise your kids out here? Because Marina's, these are hardworking people and blah blah blah. But do you want to live like this? No. So you can see Marina's starting to kind of like change her mind about like, okay, this is serious. We'll get there. So yet another promenade. A leisurely stroll about the park. And Simon teaches Daphne about self-pleasure. This is so fascinating to me because what Daphne is really trying to do is get an understanding of like, what is marriage? Like, what all does it entail? Like, she just knows that this is what she's been born and bred for, but she does not know so much about it. And I can't tell if she kind of knows, but it's like asking Simon, like, can you please tell me? Or if she genuinely has no clue about the act of sex, and this leads, you know, Simon to telling her about like when you touch yourself. And I don't know if you guys go back and watch the way that they did the wording for that, because when he walks away he says come, and it's kind of like a cliffhanger of like, you know, climax come. Anyway, I thought it was cute the way they wrote that. But I also thought it was really cute that she had been working on trying to perfect this song on the piano, or the pianoforte. I don't know the difference. I should look that up. And after she self-pleasures herself, they zoom in on her fingers, and now she can suddenly like figure out how to finish this song. I was like, y'all so nasty. I peeped what y'all did and I like it. Lady Danbury is fed up with the Duke not proposing to Daphne, and she tells him straight up, if you're not actually going to propose to this girl, don't play with her and don't ruin her chances to actually be with the prince, because that's who's really interested in her. That's who, you know, she's really caught the prince's eye. And if you aren't serious about her, don't mess this up for her. I raised you better than that. Don't ruin her chances with someone who really wants to give her what it is that she's seeking. Basically, shit or get off the pot. Lady Danbury don't play, and that's why she continues to be my fave. Her and those eyebrows. Do I understand her eyebrows or that hairline? No, but I'm still here for it. Come through, sis. So Simon takes heed and breaks things off with Daphne in this really, really harsh way. And because of the information we're privy to, he's being harsh with her to intentionally push her away so that she holds no candle for him. Like he has to, I think it's called like White Fang, if anybody has watched New Girl, some kind of movie or something where someone has like shoe off a some kind of animal. Anyway, and it informs what we see later in the season or in the series. I don't think I paid as much attention to this my first watch, but looking back at it now, it's like this is why some things transpired later on. We'll get there. But he breaks things off, and Daphne is really confused because she's like, you know, I think if Daphne could have, she would have played this game forever, because she just wants this friendship. She wants him in her life, and he's like, we were never friends. That you would even think that is real cute, but I'm about to leave London. So he, you know, storms back into his, you know, his estate, and he's like, prepare my things, I'm getting the fuck on. Daphne's heartbroken, but Daphne want to be me so bad. I'm just playing. I love what Daphne does in response to this. Of course, she cries and, you know, throws herself on her bed. Very Lifetime movie from the 90s, dramatic. Maybe she did a wall slide. I love a good wall slide cry in a show or a movie, especially if it's in the shower. It's just so dramatic for no reason. I love it. Before we get there, Anthony tries to pop up on City Girl Sienna, and City Girl Sienna is like, we're done here. You know, you only came here because you were jealous because you thought that I was fooling with your homeboy. That's not even happening. So you can really go. You don't need to be here. We're done. You cut off these checks, I'm cutting off everything. So I was like, okay. Sienna said, I know what I want in this life. So Sir George basically tells Marina to fuck off via text. Sends her a letter that like, girl, this is your situation. I ain't had nothing to do with this. You done messed around and got yourself pregnant. I don't know what you want me to do about it. Well, come to find out, Lady Featherington, utter trash, in an effort to marry Marina off, because Lady Featherington does not believe that this boy, her actual baby daddy, actually cares about her or will come back to rescue her. She's like, girl, you need to get married before you start showing like, I don't know why you playing with your life like this. So Lady Featherington and her housemaid actually constructed this whole thing. They made a fake letter. Sir George ain't said none of this shit. And I was just like, the ruthlessness, the pettiness, and you want to think that it comes from a good place. And I think in her mind, she thinks it's coming from a good place because she's like, she needs to learn how men are eventually. And it's like, girl, you need to learn how your man is actually gambling and whatnot, but we'll get there later. I'm also really thinking that Lady Featherington doesn't have hair. I think that that's what it is. I think that she's suffering from hair loss because she tells her lady maid, I forget what that is formally called. Anyway, the woman who tends to her, like, to draw on her eyebrows differently. And I'm telling y'all, just notice how she keeps like always readjusting and touching the bang and like lifting it a bit or not pulling it. I think that she has some sort of illness where she's bald. Maybe she has alopecia, maybe she's sick, I don't know, but there's something to that. Mark my words for season 2. It was really interesting too how everyone talks about how Cressida, I think it is, the Cowper girl, how she's not cute. And even her mom tells Violet, like, girl, I'm so glad that Daphne is with the dude because we can't compete with Daphne face-wise. We got the money, but we don't have the goods. I was just like, what a fucked up thing to say about your child. My God, what her daddy look like? And what does it say about you? Anyway, my favorite part. Daphne said, you don't want me no more? Great. Pull out my finest dress. Do my hair with all the jewels and the flowers. I am going to make an entrance. And she does. Daphne said that's how you clear a bitch. That's how you clear a room. That's how you move on from somebody who don't want you. Daphne said the prince is interested. Prince trumps Duke. I'm getting a prince. Daphne came through and shut down the scene. I loved it. I loved how even more so she dropped the fan. If anyone wants to send me one of those fans, I will gladly accept it. Sure, I can get one myself, but I really don't like spending my own money. You know? When she drops the fan, first of all, the prince completely abandoned Cressida, like, on the dance floor. Because her mama like, oh, doesn't princess, blah, 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 sound so... No, it don't, ain't, won't, don't. Cut it. And the prince just leaves her on the dance floor to go over, and he's like, I have to be the first person you dance with here. Like... And she drops that fan and he gets down on one knee to pick it up and hand it back to her. Excuse me, to pick it up and hand it back to her. First of all, the Duke was sick. Sick. Because he does have feelings for her. He just knows that he can't give her what she wants. I would like to think maybe other men have been in that position and that they have feelings and stuff. I'm working on that. I'm working on empathizing with dudes like that. It's a process, it's a journey, bear with me. But I also love that Lady Danbury was like, you dumb, look at this, you stupid. I loved it. I also really love how the queen's wigs still have texture. Like, she has textured edges. I really love that. And it's really also quite entertaining for her. The queen likes to stir the pot. She's bored, she's a cokehead, her husband's gone insane, and he's ducked off somewhere. She don't have nothing else to do but stir the pot and create drama. She is a real housewife of, I forgot what the name of this city was. Also, shouts out to the viewer who let me know in the comments on the last video that ton, it stands for like high society. They are intentionally saying ton and not town in an extreme British accent. So thank you so much. I really appreciate when you guys like point things out to me in the comments. I mean, respectfully, hashtag respectfully, that I may have missed, or like, oh, this actually means that. Thank you so much for doing that. I love for this to be a collaborative experience. So that's it for episode 3. I will be back to review episode 4, and then we'll be, I think, halfway through the season. I'm already really ready for season 2. Already. I kind of wish I hadn't binged this. So thank you guys for joining me. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Drop your girl a coin or two. Again, I don't enjoy spending my own money, and I do spend my own money to bring these things to you guys. So if you would like to become a patron, sign up on my Patreon. You can suggest topics or shows that you want me to review. So check that out, and I'll see you guys for the next video. Bye.